You guys have probably noticed, but dark divine feminine energy is really rising right now. It's becoming more and more popular. More and more people are being called to work with this type of energy. And so I want to talk a little bit about this. The more common deities that I see people wanting to work with and showing more interest in are Hekate and Lilith. I'm seeing a lot of Hekate readings and things like that on my For You page. A lot of people saying that she is like showing signs for them, showing up in their dreams or their meditations or in real mundane life. And one of the most common questions that I get from clients is, how do I honor her? How do I, like, what's the first step? What do I do? Okay, she's showing up in my meditation. She's showing up in my dreams. I don't know what to do with that. What do I do with this? It seems like she's screaming at me and like she really wants my attention. What do I do? And the first step is to research whatever deity, if it's Hekate, if it's Lilith, if it's the Morrigan, if whoever it is, you want to make sure that you are doing research. And this actually goes for any spirit that you feel like is reaching out to you or you're wanting to start to work with, ancestors, spirit guides, anybody. You want to do research, if there is any, on that particular ancestor, your family tree, or on the deity. Read as many books as you can. Listen to what other practitioners have to say about them. Take it with a grain of salt, because their practice is going to be different than your practice, and there's really no way to validate what they get. But doing the research and at least understanding the perspective and certain things, facts, history, stories that incorporate these beings, these deities, is really important to understand first. As you do that, if you feel like a spirit, a deity is screaming out to you, really trying to get your attention, acknowledge them. That's literally all you have to do. Acknowledge the signs that they are sending you. If you have a dream, or if Hekate shows up in your meditations, or if a deity is sending you crows, ravens, snakes, whatever it is, acknowledge it in the moment or as soon as you can, and give some gratitude, give some thanks. Thank you for the sign. Thank you for reaching out to me. I see you, I hear you. I don't know what this means, but I see you and I hear you. There's no reason to have to interpret any messages that you're getting right away. Acknowledgement is the first step. In addition to that, after doing some research and figuring out what this deity wants for offerings and things like that, you can make an altar and do all of those fun things that you see on your For You page. But from my readings, from my meditations, and from my experience, what I can tell you is that whether it's a deity or ancestors, the number one thing that they want from you in order to honor them, in the best way to honor them, is two things. Number one is doing your own healing work, doing your own shadow work, doing your own therapy, your own self-love, standing in your power. And the other thing is to research them. Do research on your own, like reading books, looking at blogs, reading up on the history, like I said, the folk tales and whatever stories they're in, the history, the music, whatever they are tied to. But also doing your own research through meditation. Write down some questions that you have for your deity or your ancestors, and then do a meditation and see if they can give you any signs, symbols, or messages that answer those questions about them. That's the best way that you're going to get information. I mean, you could also go to a reader and have them give you messages. I do Hekate readings all the time. But you don't have to spend money. You could just sit down and do a meditation and ask them the questions that you want to know. Ask them to show you, what important factors about them that you need to know that you can't find from a book. It's cool to give them offerings like certain crystals or herbs or food or things like that, glasses of water and all of that. That's awesome. And yes, absolutely do that if you feel called to do that. But I think that sometimes we glamorize certain things, especially on social media. But really what your deities, what your guides, what your ancestors want from you is for you to do your own healing, especially your ancestors, because breaking generational curses is like literally the best thing for your ancestors. But do the work, do the shadow work, go to therapy, learn to love yourself, learn to step into your power, learn what makes you feel empowered. All of those things are not only for you, but if you work with any deity, ancestors, or spirit team, this is going to honor them as well.